This segment of the show brought to you by State Representative Mac Butler, Alabama State House, District 30.
Mac Butler is the common-sense conservative Republican we need in Montgomery to represent the values which matter most to Etowah and St. Clair counties. Mac Butler opposes the federal government intrusion of Obamacare and believes in solving our problems at home. With 29 years of real-world business experience, Mac Butler knows how to create economic development incentives and grow new jobs for our area. Mac Butler has voted to reduce taxes and cut the red tape of state government bureaucracy. Mac Butler will fight for education and for our families. And Mac Butler knows that cutting taxes and ending wasteful spending will help our families and small businesses. Mac Butler supports our Second Amendment rights to own and bear arms and will stand strong against any attempt to remove those rights. Mac Butler, the common-sense conservative we can trust to represent Etowah and St. Clair counties.
Paid for by the committee to elect Mac Butler, Rainbow City, Alabama.
Welcome to This Week in College Football, the #1 college football podcast in the world, where we give our opinion on the latest news and action in the past week of college football. Now, here is your host, Rob McHugh.
Welcome to another edition of This Week in College Football. Sitting here today with Andy and Brodie Croyle.
All right. Hey, Brodie, glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Thanks for letting me come on.
We've been announcing it for a couple of weeks that you were going to be on, and there's a lot of people waiting to hear what you got to say.
I was about to say that's a good way to get no listeners by announcing I'm going to be here. Y'all should have told them that somebody else is going to be here, and they just had to listen to me.
Well, we had a lot of people asking questions and sent us questions to ask you, but I don't know if we're going to ask any of them or not.
Is it about organic gardening?
It's not about organic gardening or raising cows or whatever.
But we do want to hear about the boys' ranch today.
Yeah,
That's
we're
one
going
of the main things we wanted to talk about.
We're going to talk about your football career. And my first question is, who was your favorite coach that you ever played for?
Favorite coach I ever played for? Is that college?
College or pro?
College, pro, high school.
You'd have to say high. When your dad you coach in high school, you better mention that.
No, my dad was the offensive line coach in high school. So, no, he was my least favorite coach because he didn't do a very good job of coaching the way I remember. I remember getting hit a lot in high school, so we had lots of disagreements as to protection plans going into Friday nights. But, no, man, every coach is special in their own way. And, Coach Osborne, that still coaches at Westbrook, was my coach the whole time I was there, and probably made one of the, as a coach goes, probably the largest impact on my life. That just the way he lives, the way he walks, and just probably one of the brightest offensive minds that I've ever played for, honestly, and that's all the way up. But just a godly man who made a large impact on my life. But I really enjoyed Coach Shula at Alabama. He was there my last 3 years. And, people are starting to get old enough that they now go, well, who'd you play for at Alabama? I always tell them, well, I played for Fran, I practiced for Price, and I finished with Shula. But Coach Shula, he came into a tough situation.
Yeah.
Well, he sure did. And Alabama fans for a long time disagreed with all that. But I think he was a great coach for what he did for us.
He
Got us
was.
through that trouble.
He did, and he came in a tough situation. And, your first head coaching gig anyways tough, but much less at the University of Alabama and everything that it brings. Regardless, we have been on probation, and that he had 6 weeks to get us ready for his first season. And, after our senior year, we graduated so many guys and, still went out there next year and had a winning season, but just wasn't up to par. But, he a great offensive mind, really enjoyed playing with him, really taught me that no matter what's going on, you're the quarterback, you're the leader. You don't let them know that anything ever bothers you. And it really kind of led me into that role and that position, and just making sure that I was always ready for that and always the leader that no one ever knew something was bothering me. Whether I'd thrown a pick or whether I'd thrown a touchdown, I was the same guy every time. He made sure that I was.
When you came into Alabama, under a tough situation. I mean, you probably could have gone anywhere. And but I know you probably figured you were going to be playing at Alabama when you were a kid.
Well, it was something I'd always dreamed of, and it wasn't an ideal situation. It really wasn't. But right before I had to make my decision, the last person that came to my house was a guy named Bobby Bowden. And he came to my house, and short little quick story about him. I was at a golf tournament about 2 years ago, and I saw him, and he goes, I was like, Coach Bowden, Brodie Croyle, I don't know if you remember. He's like, hey, boy, how you doing? Good to see you. Y'all know how he talks. Yeah. Good to see you. He says, your mama still cooking that lasagna? We had lasagna the night that he came to our house, and he never forgot it. I mean, that's just how smart he is, how just sharp he is, and he's still that sharp. But that night, after we had Mom's lasagna, we got to talking, and, he was kind of giving his sales pitch, and I was really at that point in time leaning towards Florida State. And I said, well, Coach, I got really just one question for you. I really like Florida State, really like what y'all are doing, I really like what you stand for. I said, but, I need to know that you're going to be there the whole time I'm there. And he said something that has been influential in my life. He said, son, you don't go to university because of head coaches. He said, head coaches come and go. He said, you go to university because it's something you believe in. And he was saying it as a sales pitch to Florida State, but to me it sunk in and it hit home.
Roll Tide.
That Alabama was something that my dad played there, was All-American there, somewhere I dreamed of playing. My sister played basketball, was a homecoming queen there. And it was never more true about the head coach statement, but I wouldn't trade a minute of it, and loved every single part of it. And was it ideal? No. I know we were going to go on probation. Had a hunch. I know we were going to have all those head coaches. I did not. But with all that being said, wouldn't trade a minute of it.
Well, I know I sure enjoyed watching you play at Alabama. I sure did.
Well, I
you and your
appreciate
father both.
I guess I did too, as bad as I had to watch Alabama. No,
you probably enjoyed it, man. I got sacked 11 times.
I wasn't going to even bring that up.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Since you brought it up.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
That year,
someone asked me if I sacked you.
You know what?
I thought about getting in a fight. I mean,
funny story about me getting sacked. Obviously, so when we moved back, me and my wife and little boy, we moved back to Alabama. And I tried to explain to my wife what Alabama was all about, what Alabama football was all about. She's like, I got it. And I was like, no, you don't have it. These people live and die Alabama football. She's like, I got it. I was like, all right. So she's driving down the road. She pulls up to a stoplight, and she's sitting there, and she's looking at all the stickers in front of her and on the back of this car. And, it's got all the 30A and the marathon stickers and all this, that, and other. And she looks right there at the bumper, and it says, bumper sticker, honk if you sack Brodie. So I think at that point in time she realized what it was all about. And
it's a live and die thing.
Yes, it's a live and die thing, and she figured it out. So I beat you to the punch. You can't make fun of me now.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I really wasn't. I made a point not to bring it up. But anyway, that year I did get
learned a long time ago. You just got to beat people to the punch.
That's it.
Yeah.
There was an Alabama friend of mine who had ragged me all year about that game, and he worked at Asheville Elementary School, and they did a Christmas tree festival that year, and he had this beautiful Alabama tree, and my wife's the PE teacher over there, and I snuck in there and put 11 paper sacks on his tree, and
Rob.
Here he goes.
Okay, we're going to have
here
some problems.
He goes.
Yeah, here we go.
It's 2 against 1 in here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wasn't going to bring it up. Oh, that's funny.
This might be the Brodie and Andy
I'm
show.
telling you.